memoir CDs in CMB 2023. Please don't copy the work of the author. She has made it out of scratch. She poured sweats and fought mental block in order to bring this to life.
The drive home from work could be a time to have the benefit of freedom, of finally being off the clock. Well, this was for others. Because the moment I stepped out of the work, frustration and stress took the whole stage of my mind and laid 10 tons on my shoulders. After saying goodbyes to my colleagues with fake smiles and courtesy, I went straight to my car and drove on the way home. But road rage got the best of me. Excessive speeding and heavy traffic, changing lanes briskly without proper signal, tailgating, with my left hand on the steering wheel, and with my other hand I brusquely ran my fingers through my hair. I couldn't stop every flinch of my muscles in the corner of my mouth to shout at those reckless drivers on the road. If they crashed on me, will they pay for the damage? After a long taxing day from work, I went straight to the kitchen to grab some dessert. I need the sugar to provoke my brain to release some endorphins. I walked to the living room, threw myself on the couch, and switched on the TV. My older sister joined me and curiously asked what I was eating. She just got home too, from work.
Gila tu alpayas takkio.
I lazily remarked.
Give me some?
She ordered, stretching her right arm to steal my bowl of ice cream. Like the monkey in the popular meme begging for food in the zoo. I looked her dead in the eyes and flatly said no. Refusing to be under her power, I went further away from her and crouched on the couch. I playfully pushed her off the couch with my feet and instructed her to go to the kitchen to get herself a bowl of ice cream too. I wanted to be nice, but I didn't share my food with anyone, because first, it was mine, and secondly, I got hungry most of the time, so I needed something to fill my stomach, or else I would be in a sulky mood throughout the day. Gah, why am I born like this? I put my hand under my chin and let out a deep sigh. My favorite comedy show didn't make me laugh anymore. What was wrong with me? Well, I had been trying to rationalize my emotion, but it was so damn hard. How could I speedily mend my broken heart? I didn't want to look more stupid at work. An anonymous writer hacked our work webpage and shared an article about me losing my mind in the middle of the city. I looked so horrible. My eyes were puffy and swollen from wailing like a kid, so my mascara under my eyes was smudged and dripped straight to my cheeks. My hair was all over the place, drenched in the rain, depleting its natural moisture furthermore. My white dress was fermented with mud. The heels were broken. The strap was ruined, so I went home yesterday barefoot. And of course, every single detail of it was all published. My privacy wasn't spared. That anonymous writer didn't blur my face, and just unashamedly exposed my identity by naming me, and by declaring which department I belonged to in the company, leaving me a complete humiliation as a souvenir. There was also a video and 2 photos to back up the rumor, and they played purely as evidence, so denying the gossip would be merely useless. I was undeniably the hottest topic of everyone's tongue. I decided to save my energy, so I didn't bother to explain myself and try to rescue my reputation from reducing itself to dust. I just watched it, as if I was an omniscient reader in a book. I let out a profound, audible exhalation of despair. What should I do now? If only I could turn back the time. I would gladly do it. Oh, it was so funny we went from strangers to friend, enemies to high school sweethearts, and back to strangers. If only he didn't come to my life, like a storm in the middle of a field filled with tulips in the Netherlands. I was such a house of cards, and he played these cards. Oh, damn. Well, he won every single game, boosting his ego as he became the most valuable player of all time. If only I wasn't someone who was easily swayed by an unfamiliar, gentle feeling of endearment. My vision started to get blurred as tears began to swell my eyes. One by one, a hot tear fell down my cheek in a rapid motion. Convulsive gaps could be heard in the living room. I wished the laughter from the comedy show overlapped it completely. hiding my vulnerable state from my older sister. I put my left hand to restrain a strangled scream escaping from my mouth. I badly wanted to shout at the top of my lungs, but I felt ashamed. I didn't want my older sister to witness my emotional breakdown. I didn't want to get bullied anymore. I didn't want to get my dignity more injured. If she would see me, she would probably say to suck it up. She would push my fractured bone to heal by continuously moving it around. Wasn't it tough love, was it? I grabbed the cushion and bit it harshly. I wanted to lose myself in rage. I hated myself for acting like this irrational rat, tumbled into a trap just because it got captivated by the smell of the cheese. I should have been smarter than this rat in the corner of the living room, but I couldn't deny how pitiful we got ourselves into. We were both trapped in the pain. If we had resisted the cheese, the adrenaline rush in a roller coaster ride, the alluring curiosity of being caught in lavender haze, the intriguing feeling of getting your head in cloud nine. I know he was a pure trouble as he walked into my life, but I couldn't endure the temptation. He introduced love in its treacherous form to me, and I, as fragile as I was, couldn't say no, in capital bold letters. Weak. Who?
Me.
Sang in a melodic tone, similar to Taylor Swift in her song, Me. I gathered my remaining strength to go upstairs. Once I heard my older sister's footsteps towards the living room. She saw my back and asked where I was going. To Mars. I mockingly replied back, gesturing a rocket using both of my hands. But it seemed like a shark fine. I closed the door behind me and rapidly locked it. How could I continue showing my face at the workplace? We were in mid-November. I couldn't just disappear out of nowhere. If I did, my two cats, Molino and Gray, would scratch me to death, since cat food was way more important than anything else. I let out a deep sigh once again. Was this the 10th time today? I lost in numbers. I was so stressed out. My brain cells were still in panic mode. I couldn't think straight due to my heart beating like a drum, resembling the rhythm of gallops of horses trapped in a marathon race. As if my day couldn't get worse. An annoying mosquito entered my room, flapping its wings so fast to the point that an unpleasant buzzing noise was getting delivered to my ears non-stop. I stubbornly refused to take notice of its existence, as I put my headphones on to listen to River Flows in You by Yuruma. This annoying mosquito reminded me of him. I remembered when he used to bother me a lot. He tried everything just to catch my attention. Attention seeker. I grabbed my laptop from the bedside table, then opened the Google Doc and continued typing on the document I started yesterday. I let the music guide my mind to drift in the past, and at the same time, my fingers got carried by a current flow of memory.
Starts of a Loom flashback. Good morning.
A message from an unknown sender. I just replied. 3 question marks and shrugged my shoulders. My number was so private that 10 people only knew it. My family and a couple of friends. Maybe Amanda had changed her number once again. She kept on changing it. I didn't want to be nosy, but one day I couldn't resist my urge and implored her the reason. She just nonchalantly stated,
Personal stuff.
in an unconcerned tone. When I got to school, I was greeted by a golden retriever. The dog was wearing an ocean blue shirt with a fluffy pink heart in the middle and a Celeste baseball cup. He was holding a tiny basket. He let me pet him. He leaped around me happily. He put the basket in front of me and put his adorable right paw on the basket. That was when I noticed a letter, delicately wrapped in a woven strip of fine silk.
Is it for me?
I gently questioned the dog as if I was talking to an innocent little baby, pure from any impurities. He barked enthusiastically at me and did a tippy-tap dance. I had something to announce urgently, ladies and gentlemen. He just caught my heart. I got to my knees and placed my arms around the dog to give him an affectionate embrace. Well, he rightfully earned it. The letter I had received obtained curious scrutiny from all directions. And of course, my best friend noticed it as soon as I put my left foot in the doorframe of the classroom. Tara ran to me like her life depended on it and laid her right arm on my shoulder, as if she was about to grant an irresistible business offer. I narrowed my eyes at her suspiciously. I knew this tactic. Oh, damn well. She resembled an earthworm, wriggling in a sea of salt. She must be dying to know who gave me the letter.
Wow, this is so sweet. Have you read the letter yet? Is it printed and written?
She quizzed me with her head swinging from left to right.
How can I read the letter if I have just arrived?
I tweeted in an ironic way, intended to playfully mock her in a mischievous approach.
Oh my gosh, I am so jealous of you, Kiandra.
She confessed as she dragged my shoulders, back and forth in front of her face. I knew I had a best friend with non-compos. Mentis wild behavior. I was accustomed to it.
Someone please give me a personalized card now.
She cheekily announced in the classroom, yet in a pouty tone. Some girls looked at her with a judgmental look, plastered on their face. Some guys gave her a thumbs up, and the rest just ignored her. They were used to her being a drama queen, excruciating with the quality of being extra every single day.
God really does have a favorite, and I am out of the list.
She declared, letting out a defeated sigh. I chuckled and offered her a small, shy smile. Well, it was my first time receiving a well-thought letter. I wanted to know who he was. He only wrote his initials on the back of the letter. How could I find his identity out of 2570 students in the school? Tara grabbed my arm and dragged me to the cafeteria. To tell the truth, I didn't have any intention to leave the room, since the letter made a bomb leaving the area with gossip oozing in juiciness. And of course, girls who couldn't control their mouth would say something nasty about it, out of jealousy. I wasn't comfortable in a tight position like this. I concentrated my whole weight on my feet, hoping to make it impossible to drag me. But Tara fancied going to the gym and was obsessed about maintaining her shape, so my plan failed. As usual, we had our snacks in the same spot. Tara was in front of me with her head slightly turned 45 degrees towards the table. She pushed back the chair, closing more the gap between us. She was trying her best to squeeze more information out of me. I had never seen her this excited in her whole life. Tara loved gossip. She loved being informed of all the hottest topics at school and in her town. Sometimes she would just unintentionally spill the tea and intentionally share dirty little secrets to me. Well, she was my only best friend. And so I didn't really have someone who I could share these infos with. So probably she felt safe doing these things that could literally put herself in trouble. Well, if someone found out. A boy from junior high in a jersey jacket was running with his drink in his hand. At the same time, a group of mean girls were also walking in the same direction, which was towards us. The girl in the middle named Lily deliberately flipped her hair, and the drink of the boy flew out of his hand, and so it spilled on my gorgeous maroon velvet top. Fie! I had just bought it last week from my pocket money.
Oh, I'm sorry,
he said as he scratched the back of his head. Red slowly creeped from his neck to his cheeks.
Don't worry, I have extra clothes in the locker.
I said to assure him, giving him a small smile. I saved him from further embarrassment. I just didn't want to create more scenes, to be honest. Tara accompanied me to the locker. As soon as I opened my locker, 3 photos fell on the ground. I thought it was something rated 18 type of photos, but it was just some dog pics. It was the same golden retriever this morning in different cute outfits. Him in a Batman suit, in cowboy outfit, and in an influencer fashion style.
Batman cannot save the day, but can surely save the night. Here comes Hunter, who can make your night memorable. It will be deeply carved in the back of your mind, darling. Dementia doesn't stand a chance. JC.
Cringe.
How about me? And you go play dress up. I'll be the cowboy and you can be my horse. That way I get to mount you all day. HAC.
What? Men do really want one thing?
I might be famous on the internet, but a beautiful lady like you doesn't know me. So fame is useless if you aren't part of it. As an influencer, I shall influence your style in order to like me, JC.
Sure, go on.
I brought forward the photos to Tara so she could read what was written at the back in every photo. She shook her head and admitted in an unblushing manner that we had read at the same time. I didn't even notice she went behind my back to snoop, clearly minding someone else's business. I rolled my eyes playfully and giggles escaped our mouths. Loud consecutive rings interrupted our light, silly laugh in the hallway. I immediately answered the phone call from my mother. I put my phone near my ear, and I could clearly hear raw panic in her voice as she announced,
Keandra, Vincenzo is finally found.
The hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and my heart made a giant leap into my throat. I struggled to conceal my shock as I shivered. I dropped the photos on the ground as panic engulfed me completely. My eyes widened in alarm. I ran my fingers through my hair with shaking hands, trying to calm my nerves. Soon, I found myself desperately catching my breath. My mind went blank for a moment, and I didn't even notice I was holding my breath all this time. I nervously moistened my lips and screamed.
What the hell?